And welcome back, everybody. Our last debate of the evening, live here. Our debate coverage continues here on TV 35. And first of all, want to welcome our incumbent mayor, Phil Best. Welcome, Phil.
Thank you, James. Appreciate y'all having us here tonight.
Yes, sir. And next, Reverend Johnny Vaughn. Welcome, Johnny.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And y'all have probably figured out throughout the evening, I'll probably be confused calling him Mayor, Reverend, Johnny, Phil, but we all just call you Johnny, huh? Okay, I'm going to start with you first, Johnny. First question. With the unemployment rate the highest of any county in the state of Georgia, what are we going to do to reverse this trend?
Jobs, jobs, jobs. Number one, if I'm the mayor, I'm going to make the Trade and Industry Commission up in Atlanta, Georgia, my second home. I want them to know me by John or Johnny, whatever they call me. I don't know whether our present mayor ever been to the Trade Commission office up there. But we want to get a collaborative group of people here, the chamber, the county commissioner, everyone who is working diligently, trying to bring jobs into this community. Everything starts in Atlanta, Georgia, believe it or not. So we're going to have to go into that office and be there. We've got to spend money going to Atlanta to the Trade and Industry Committee. We've got to go up there and let them know that Dublin does exist. If I spend your tax dollar, it won't be for down in Savannah to some retreat or Callaway Garden. I'm going to spend your money trying to bring jobs into this community.
Okay, thank you very much. Mayor, with unemployment at its highest, what are we doing to reverse this trend?
Well, James, as you know, the voters at the last splash okayed $14 million to devote directly to economic development. Our development authority does a tremendous job in trying to create jobs and get jobs into Dublin. We're working probably 4 prospects now. One of the things that has changed a little bit, the Economic Development Department in Atlanta is a good resource, but now, because times have changed, you have to go and look for the work yourself. We have sent Cal Ray to Germany on a couple of occasions. The Development Authority has made a wise decision in getting Cal and making his full-time job economic development. I don't think it'll be too long at all before you'll see the fruit of that labor.
Okay, thank you, sir. And back to you, Mayor. What is the biggest problem facing our city?
Well, I agree with Johnny Vaughan. Jobs, jobs, jobs. That's one of the biggest things. We've got to create some work for our people. The second thing is I think, was the potential for our crime rate to raise more than it is now, which we are working on a 2-prong effect to try to take care of that, which we will discuss later in the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Phil. And Johnny, what's the biggest problem facing our city today?
Certainly, if we are 12% unemployed, that must definitely be the biggest problem in our community. But it just didn't start last month. We've been had a mayor and a council for 4 years. I don't even see any new spec buildings in our community. Industry, when they come in, they're looking for a spec building. I think last time the industry came in, they walked out and showed them an empty field, so we're going to build one right here. We've got to be prepared when they come in. Lawrence County is the 3rd largest county in the state of Georgia. We have a beautiful library, theater, we have tech school, and all we have to do, we have the training staff, but there's something wrong with leadership. And the leadership must change, or you're going to be stagnated in the next 12 years like you've been before.
Okay, thank you, sir. Coming back to you, Johnny. What can the city do to help law enforcement free up jails of mental health patients?
Well, now I don't think the city can do anything, because what happened when the state started closing up the mental health prison up in Millersville back here not too long ago, I understand they dumped them on all the county jails. And so that question there is going to have to be taken up, I think, on a state level. But we'll do whatever we have to do to help our state representative in eliminating that problem.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Mayor, what can we do about this?
Agree with Johnny again. The resources we need to use there are Matt Hatchett and Ross Tollison. I think that exactly what Johnny said is true. I think we had a situation where cuts were made, folks that needed really some major help with mental illness were put back in the communities that did not need to be put back in the communities without the proper treatment. And I think that's got to be addressed on the state level.
Okay, thank you, sir. Coming back to you, Mayor. Should Dublin and Lawrence County consolidate to save money?
I think we should consolidate some services as we have, like the Recreation Authority and some others. I don't think Lawrence County is a good example for total consolidation of governmental services simply because of the area of the county. We're the third largest county in the state of Georgia. Bibb County, for instance, the city is almost as big as the county. The sprawl has overtaken the county. That makes it a lot easier to consolidate. In our case, I don't know that a total consolidation would work.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Johnny, should we consolidate?
Well, I don't like the last part of that question. It says to save money. We should never look at consolidating by saving money because, hypothetically speaking, let's talk about the sheriff and the local police department. Why would we consolidate those two departments just to save money and compromise our safety? So let's not ever look at that last part to save money, because there was a writing that came out not too long ago where it said that normally if you consolidate it, it's about 7 years down the road before you can see a return. So is it worth it?
Okay, thank you, sir. Coming back to you, Johnny, has Crime Stoppers been successful, and what other things like this can we do as a community?
I'm not sure. I'm on the outside as every other citizen. I don't have the data where crime, how many crimes it was, and the data on basically what the Crime Stopper input. I don't have that data. Maybe the mayor can tell us. He's been there 12 years.
Okay, Mayor?
First of all, the Crime Stoppers organization is a nonprofit organization, and it's open to any member of the community that would like to participate, and I'm sure they encourage the donations and participation because all of the Crime Stoppers organization is funded by private funds. To answer your question, James, I think the success rate on the actual defendants that their picture gets on the TV or in the paper is about a 96% rate. 96% of those folks are apprehended and brought to justice within hours of their picture showing. Now, you have to go through a pretty good bit of procedure before you can get to the point that you put the picture in the paper or on TV, but after that's done, then it's a pretty good rate.
Okay, thank you, sir. Coming back to you, Mayor, a lot of baggy pant questions here. Y'all been watching the debates tonight. We've talked about this, but looking back, Mayor, was it the right thing to do to ban baggy pants? How many citations have been written?
Let me just back up just a second and let you know the City Council voted unanimously to do the initiate baggy pants ordinance or the indecent exposure to do it. It was a struggle because, you got a fine line there when you get into minding people's business, and you cannot make an ordinance to dictate the way folks ought to act. The problem is we felt like it was time to make a statement and say, look, guys, pull your pants up. We need to do this. It's the right thing to do. But really, the help needs to come from home. We have had we hadn't written, but I don't think between 10 and 20 actual citations. It's not the purpose of the ordinance to write citations. It gave the police the ability to warn young men, and I think it's helped. I don't think it's perfect yet, and it needs improvement, but I think it has helped.
Okay, thank you, sir. Johnny, was it the right thing to ban baggy pants?
Well, I agree with the mayor on but I don't have anything to add to that.
Okay. And the last preacher I asked this to, Brother Edmund, we all got tickled over it, but I'm going to go to you first, Reverend. Why are these adult shops in town? What can we do to make sure it does not start a trend?
They're gone. The last one closed. I went out to ride by and see whether it's still there, but it has closed, so that question will be mute.
Okay. Mayor?
They are closed. What we have done in order to try to prevent it from happening again, constitutionally you cannot prevent that type of business from coming into the community. However, what you can do is try to rearrange the zoning ordinances and make it where it is tougher for them to come in, which is what we're trying to do. The Dublin City Council asked the Department of Community Affairs to review all of our zoning ordinances and get them in line with state law and try to work on issues just like that to keep it from happening again.
Okay, thank you, sir. Coming back to you, Mayor, what's the city's stand on the recycling centers in the county? Why can't we have a choice?
Well, you know, I think we ought to be able to carry our recycle or our stuff to the convenience centers. We pay taxes. We are citizens of Lawrence County. We should be able to carry it, and there should be no fee. The County Commission, along with Brian Rogers, came and met with Mr. Roussel and myself and gave us the opportunity to ask our citizens to pay $50 to opt in to the program, and we took that to City Council and they voted unanimously not to do that because we feel strongly we're already paying county taxes and that would be a double taxation.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. And Johnny, what do you feel about this?
Well, I think, I don't know the atmosphere when they, in that room, but there again, we're talking about working together. And we cannot survive in this city unless we work diligently with the county. I don't know, I'm like anyone else, I don't want to be double taxed, but maybe we should have worked with them to come up another way because they need the revenue. So if your brother need help, then I think we should say, wait, can we do it this way? We all put our heads together, but not just, just voted no and out the door when they're trying to get revenue to take care of the county people. And that's teamwork. When you want to work with the county, sit down and say, okay, you have a problem, you have a financial problem, you have a money problem. Let's see what we can do to help here. Maybe we might have to do some things here to help you, but not just have a meeting and then go vote no and they walk out the door. And they probably still suffering for some money. They need to raise some money somewhere.
Okay. Next question going to you, Johnny. Do you believe a municipal court judge should be an attorney?
Do I believe a municipal court judge should be an attorney? I believe a municipal court judge should be someone who is fair and honest, regardless of his title. You don't necessarily have to be an attorney to be a municipal court judge, because I know him all over the state of Georgia. In Columbus, my good friend down there is a municipal court judge. I think he has his GED, I'm not sure. But because, see, the municipality, they write ordinance. And all you have to do is go by the ordinance. If you violate one of them ordinance, and if you can read, just common sense.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Mayor, do you believe you should be an attorney to be a municipal court judge?
Yes, I do. And I think this past session of the Georgia Assembly, the legislators passed the law that certainly you will have some grandfathering going on, but henceforth all municipal court judges will have to have a law degree or be an attorney.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about, is there a gang problem in Dublin? Maybe what the remedy is. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, my name is Calvin Sturgis, and I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve on the Dublin City Board of Education for District 3. It has been an honor to be a part of such a great team for the past 4 years. Our board has made great strides in moving our school system forward. June of 2008, construction on the new high school began. March of 2009, Dr. Charles Ledbetter was hired as the new school superintendent. August of 2009, unitary status was established in all areas except personnel. September of 2009, the foundation for the Career Academy was laid out and a $3.15 million grant was awarded. January of 2010, after our strategic planning that included all stakeholders, we started the new charter system, which included the realignment and renovation of the elementary schools. 2010, we received the Title I Distinguished System Award. In 2010 and 2011, we received two 21st Century Community Learning Grants totaling in excess of $2 million. We partnered with the City of Dublin on grants for sidewalks worth $470,000. The budget was balanced and met, including 180 school days for our students and no furlough days for our teachers. As you can see, District 3 and the entire City of Dublin have a lot to be proud of, and I would like to continue serving on the Dublin City Board of Education. I am asking for your vote and support to re-elect me, Calvin Sturgis, to the Dublin City Board of Education for District 3 on November the 8th of 2011.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's get going. Mayor, is there a gang problem in Dublin? If so, what degree?
Yes, there is. Anytime you have a festival that you have young men shooting a firearm and that many folks, you've got a gang problem. I think there were folks ready to fight a couple of years ago, and I think that was probably a blessing in disguise because it woke us all up and it put us in the mode. And when I say us, I'm not talking about the city council or me as the mayor. I'm talking about the community. It put us in the mode of sitting down and talking and seeing what we needed to do to improve that situation. Earlier I said there was a two-pronged attack we needed to take on this. One is I think that we've got to let the folks know that are breaking the law, we're not going to tolerate it, and enforce the law. And number two, we've got to take the young people that are still, we have an influence over, and we've got to create some activities for them. I know there's in the works, you may have read in the paper last week, City Council voted to let the Boys and Girls Club take a look at the old auditorium for a teen center. That teen center would be used for at-risk gang members, and it'd be activities that kids are interested in today that I don't know enough about to talk about intelligently, but I do know that there's some strong work being done to help that.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Johnny, is there a gang problem in Dublin?
It might be some wannabes. I've lived in New York City and large cities, and when you're talking about a gang, I haven't seen any kid with the look of a real gang member. I've seen the looks of a real gang member who doesn't mind walking up blowing your brains out in a heartbeat. Now, what happened with our kids, they all live on the same block. They don't have automobiles, so 6 or 7 of them will go to a game or they'll go to, and they're all walking together. So if you got 6 or 7 kids walking together, automatically people will construe that's a gang. And that's a neighborhood group of people going to the theater or wherever they're going walking. Now, our white kids, they have automobiles. Let's be honest about this thing. So we don't call them having a game because they ride everywhere they go. So there might be some wannabes, but no, the Bloods and the Crips are not in Lawrence County. They're all around us now, but we should lay down and go to sleep. And I agree with the mayor, we should be on watch, like he said, but we have a lot of wannabes because if the mayor had been here when I was coming up in this city, well, you kept us locked up, me and Richard and Bobby Green and all of them, because we walked everywhere from the south side. We walked to the theater. We didn't have automobiles. So I guess we could be considered, I guess, a gang too.
Okay, thank you, sir. And coming back to you, Johnny, what political figure in history do you most admire?
Well, there are several in history that I admire, but if we want to go all the way back, and you know I'm a Democrat, okay, but Abraham Lincoln probably was, for me, the most, you know, Lincoln, he did a lot of things for us, but I like his attitude. He was persistent. You know, he ran for office, he lost, he ran again, he lost. He just was persistent. I believe there are more, but I look at Abraham Lincoln because of Abraham Lincoln, you know, we was able to get the 13, 14, and the 15th Amendment passed. And we are the only group in America that our freedom is predicated upon the 13, 14, and 15th Amendment, which can be repealed by 2/3 of the Congress.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Mayor, what political figure in history do you most admire?
I narrowed it down to two, Ronald Reagan and Carolyn Watson. Ronald Reagan was probably one of the best presidents in my lifetime. I don't remember Abraham Lincoln, but Ronald was a go-getter. He was strong. He stood up for what he believed, and he acted on that. Carolyn Watson was a consensus builder. I was fortunate enough to serve on city council with her for a couple of years, and she taught me a lot, and she was my mentor during that time, and it was a great loss to this city when we lost Carolyn.
Okay, Reverend Vaughn?
Well, I'm glad he mentioned Ms. Watson, because I was the one who played the integral part in getting her to run. There was two ladies that was going to run. One was Darlene Joyner and Ms. Watson. But if you don't know too much about Abraham Lincoln Field, I know it wasn't my lifetime either. But did you have history in school?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, but okay.
Okay, next question coming to you, Mayor. The Humane Society in Orange County kills 80% of the animals. This is a city and county problem. What can we do to stop this?
Well, you know, money will cure most anything, and that's the problem. The funds are not there to house the animals longer, and it is a problem. But I think the better solution is to try to get our general public to spay and neuter more. I mean, let's adopt a pet rather than buying one, and when we do have pets, let's get them spayed or neutered. And I think that's the overall solution. It is a problem. I hate to see that many animals put to sleep. I really do. But it's, what do you do?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Johnny, what do you think about Humane Society?
Well, you know, I think I worked with the first Humane Society in Lawrence County some 40 years ago. Now, some of you out there probably remember Miss Bishop. She would go around and bring stray dogs in. At that time, I was employed with Dr. J.L. Smalley Animal Hospital, and he gave her 5 pens to keep her dogs, and of course I gave her another 5 because they never came in the back. But she would go around the Greenleaf Cafe and Ma Hawkins and bring food down there, and I would feed them for her. So I am an animal lover. If this city can spend $744,000 running water and sewer line into undeveloped areas, sure, we could spend $44,000 so they can keep the animals longer, and then let's use the technology. Let's use channel 35 here. Let's bring the animals in and put them all across this for adoption. Put them up for adoption. Let's give them what it takes, and let's stop doing away with animals in this county. And as mayor, I will give you the money.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, Johnny, coming back to you. It seems so many movies and commercials are being made in Georgia now. What can we do in Dublin to get our fair share?
You know, I like that, because we're not doing anything to recognize the people who are famous who used to live here. You know, we should have a walk or something letting folks know that Jackie Robinson lived here. There's just so many famous people lived in this city. What should we do? Now, there's a problem. I understand that to bring in a movie, they have to get permission I understand to shoot people's houses, the home, and things like this. I'm quite sure the people of this city, I'm quite sure, whether they're up on Bellevue or whether they're on or wherever the beautiful homes are, they'll be glad to have their home. And there again, the Trade and Industry Commissioner comes in play again. There again, why not? But we, you know, I don't know whether people out there know it, but we've been certified as a, I think it's a bedrock community, or they call it what? A retirement community. So I don't know how you're going to get in the industry in, because industry might don't want to come into a place who's been certified a retirement center.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Mayor, what do you think about this movie business? What can we do to get our fair share?
Well, one thing I know is happening is Jack Walker, who is very strong in the movie industry, is helping us. We have just gotten certified through the Department of Economic Development as a camera-ready community. Now, what he's doing is gathering the information that needs to be gathered and the criteria in order for us to be ready to go to these movie companies and offer our community for movies. The other thing that Johnny mentioned was the walkway, or recognizing the people that we have that are famous. It just so happened our bicentennial's coming up next year, which is going to be a huge event for Dublin. And in that project, we're going to have several markers placed around town, and we're going to have what we call the Walk of Fame in front of the Theatre Dublin area and down the town with all of the personalities that we do have here, and there are many. He's right, there's many, there's more than I thought there were. And Scott Thompson is working on that project now, along with Jerry Davis and a couple other folks.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. And we're going to come back to you. A lot of garbage questions on the debate tonight. Mayor, why can't, this is a lady viewer I know, for example, why can't I get my garbage picked up twice a week like I used to? The county says I can't use the recycling center anymore.
Well, you know, I guess it's been 5 years ago, or maybe a little better, that we went to this curbside pickup. As you know, obviously that is more economical to pick up than to come to your backyard and pick up twice a week. We do have ways, if that lady would call City Hall and let them know that she is unable to push her curb to the side of the road, we will certainly mark her curb and make it where our guys will go back and get it and bring it to the curb for her. Obviously that was done to save money and to help provide service too. Most people I talk to, the one Kirby is enough to handle a week's trash. The only other thing I would say is I don't think anybody has to be told what gas and fuel and all those costs have done in the last 5 years. So any increases we have had in sanitation have been strictly due to increases in fuel, which you can imagine how much fuel we burn running the trucks around picking up trash.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Johnny, what do you think about garbage?
Well, you know, I have to agree with Mayor. I don't know the numbers. Certainly, I can remember when they were picking up my trash twice a week. They cut back on the service and went up on the rate twice since they started. That's something you would have to be on the inside to take a look at. They also went up on the gas rates. It's taxation, taxation, taxation again. Anytime you increase a service fee, that is nothing more than a tax. And the citizens of Dublin need to call City Hall and ask some questions. You cut back on the service and you went up on the rate. And the garbage has been increased twice since the service has been cut. Now, was that a business decision? Was that a money decision? Did it cost more for the tipping fees? You would have to be on the inside to know these things. But it appears to me that when they just need some extra money down at City Hall, well, they just go and raise the rates on the water and the gas and the sewer. You know, I guarantee you, want something out, we're going to take care of your dollar as if it was my own dollar.
Okay, thank you, sir. Coming back to you, Johnny. Can city employees and elected officials and their families do business with the city of Dublin? If so, do you think this is a conflict of interest?
Of course, that's platonism. You can't do that. How would you feel if my daughter got a contract and she getting all the bids at City Hall? Come on, that's wrong. We can't do that. No, that's a conflict of interest. You shouldn't, if you are doing business, if you are working for the city of Dublin, you should not, and you are a contractor, you should not be doing any business. I'm talking about you shouldn't even do anything if you employ for the city of Dublin. That's a conflict of interest. If it's not a conflict of interest, it's unethical, the least.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Mayor, is this a conflict of interest?
I agree with Mr. Vaughan, exactly what he said.
Okay. Coming back to you, Mayor, is our police department properly staffed? What areas do you think need improving?
We have one opening, one position that's open over what is budgeted. So I think, as far as being staffed, we're almost at 100%. As far as what areas need improvement, we could probably, if you ask Wayne Kane or George Russell this, they would both tell you there's plenty of room for improvement always. We do a good job. I think the police department does a good job, but I think that you could always improve what you do, not only in the police department, but in all areas of government.
Okay. And in our own lives, huh?
Yes, sir.
Reverend Vaughn, is our police department properly staffed, and what areas could we improve?
I have to take the mayor's word on that. I'm a citizen on the outside looking in, but if they are, as mayor, then George Russo will run this city, and Wayne Kane will run that city department. And if they did need some funds, and they came to me, and I was the mayor, we're going to find some funds to give him if he needs funds, because I'm a military man. We delegate authority, and then we walk away and leave it alone. You don't delegate authority, then go back and tell people how to do it. And that's one thing you would get from me as mayor of the city of Dublin.
Okay, thank you, sir. And we've got to take a commercial break. We're almost out of time. Stay with us. We'll be right back and wrap it up.
Hi, my name is Janice Stewart. I'm a member of Lawrence County. I'm running for City Council in Ward 1. I would like to see changes in our water system, and I would also like to be able to develop programs that would improve opportunity for our children. I would like to also promote cleaning up of our neighborhoods, build more playgrounds for our children, support the after-school program for additional help for our children. I would appreciate for you to come out November the 8th, 2011, and support me as your new city council for Ward 1.
In my 26 years on the city council, I helped bring a lot of good things to the table for our city. If I'm elected, I will bring other good things. I want to start a clean water program for Ward 3. I want to hire 4 police, 1 for each ward. All he'll do is work that ward, keep down crime like we had on Cloverdale, where they tried to break in on Miss Howell and Miss Mercer, and they've had to change all of their locks and all of their windows. We don't want that. We have a great police department, but they can't be everywhere. And I will work for a better paving program for Ward 3. There's several things that I would like to do, and if I'm given a chance, I will do them. I'm J.W. Scarborough, Jr. I'm running for Ward 3 for the City Council. I appreciate your vote and support. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. And we're going to go into our closing statements, and we'll reverse the order this time, and we're going to go with you, Reverend Vaughn, for your closing statement.
I'm Johnny Vaughan. I was born in Dublin, Georgia. I was schooled in Dublin. I only left Dublin for military, to serve my country, and, of course, to continue my education. I'm a small businessman with 33 full-time employees. At one time, about 12 years ago, I had 40-something employees, but I lost 9. I am for working together with the city and county. I believe in working together. I may not be the one you want, but I am available at this time. And I guarantee you, I'm better than what you had for the last 12 years. Vote for Johnny Vaughan, Mayor of Dublin, November the 8th. God bless you, and thank you.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Vaughn. And your final comment, Mayor Best.
Well, thank you. James, I've thought about my final comments for a week or two, and then this weekend it came to me pretty easy. We lost a good friend and a good leader in this community this past week, Walter McCall, who served on the Development Authority for over 26 years. He chaired that authority, he co-chaired it, and he was in on several of the successes over the years of that authority. In one of his annual reports, he was summing up his year, and at the end of it, he was leaving a message for his successor as chairman, and I'd like to just read that to you here tonight. It says, "I trust that you will keep the plane in the air. The holding pattern should not change. Let us remember that in order to land successfully, we must land together. Thanks to all," and all was in capital letters. We'll miss you, Walter. You served this community well, and I appreciate the folks watching tonight, and I would appreciate your vote as your mayor. I'd like to be your mayor 4 more years. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Johnny. And thank you, viewers, for contributing tonight. You have a great evening. And this is our last debate on TV 35.